feverish work going on to make sure that that cut doesn't get any worse. Urgent instructions. There we are, the camera taking you right into the corner, almost as if you were working there yourself. And you look at those cuts. They are really having to need all their expertise. The grease on there as well. It's a very, very skilled job to be a boxing cuts man in the corner. You have to be cool and work under pressure, and fights can depend on the skill of your work, and that is why top fighters are prepared to spend quite a lot of money to get the right kind of men in their corner, particularly boxers with a history of cuts. So far the corner have managed to keep Jacob in the fight. Those cuts haven't got too much worse for him, but he's got big problems in this fight now because McKenzie showed signs in the 7th round that he was beginning to take control of it a bit. This is the 8th. Fascinating fight. The Frenchman with the crowd at his back, of course, and they could urge him on, maybe to almost superhuman efforts, could they? At the start of the round you can see that the cuts aren't really visible, but once a few jabs and hooks go in from McKenzie, they start to open again in every round. That's a good uppercut inside from McKenzie too, left uppercut. Only landed on the glove though, the punch back from Jacob. There's not a lot of precision about his work at the moment, the Frenchman. McKenzie looks the cooler, classier operator at this point. He really was fighting up a storm in around the 5th and 6th rounds, Jacob. But he's gone a little bit quiet in these last couple of rounds, and so have the fans as well. McKenzie always looks much better when he's boxing behind that jab. And digging in those short little hooks to the head as well now. Growing in confidence visibly. The man from Croydon. Nice unassuming kind of guy as well, Duke McKenzie. Never been a glamour fighter even when he was a world champion. But just beginning to take charge here, and that blood beginning to flow quite freely again. The jabs thudding in. These are bad moments for Thierry Jacob. He's falling behind on points, I would say, at this point. Depending, of course, how you scored the earlier rounds. McKenzie, who made more headlines out of the ring in Britain when there was a train crash near his home, and parts of the carriages ended up in his back garden, and he had to rescue some of the passengers. That was the famous Purley train crash, if you remember that. McKenzie was a bit of a hero that day. He may need to be a hero again here if he's going to win away from home. He's doing well at the moment. McKenzie in the green shorts. It's another pretty good round for him, this 8th. And not too much coming back from Jacob at this point. Those cuts looking fairly gory now around the face. There's the blood flowing into the eye now. I wonder if he's having a little bit of trouble seeing, Jacob. Just pawed at the cuts once or twice with his gloves. There goes the bell to end the 8th round. And look at that blood, it's flowing rather freely. I'm sorry if you've just been eating a meal or something at home, and it's not the most appetizing thing for me to be saying, but it is a fact of life in the boxing ring. Those cuts do heal very, very quickly afterwards. It's nothing to get too worried about, but during the fight, of course, it's a major, major problem. And the cut has got worse. Look, it's gone over the eye there now as well. I think there might be 2 cuts by that right eye. So it's big problems, really, and he probably is having his vision beginning to be affected by this now. Swellings there as well. He obviously is a fighter with big cuts problems, Jacob, and even if he was to win this one, you wonder how much it might impair him in the future. There's that right uppercut. Wasn't that a good shot by McKenzie, who I think would have taken round 7 and 8 McKenzie, there's a more confident look about him now. He may feel that he's starting to take control of this now. This is round 9. Jacob, black shorts, McKenzie, green. Vacant European bantamweight title. McKenzie's been around a bit. He's boxed in places like Las Vegas, Reno, Atlantic City. He's been to the States with Mickey Duff in his early career. Into Italy, as I was telling you. Here he is in France. His record altogether, 25 wins and 1 loss. He's 27 years of age. And just to remind you of Jacob's record, 33 wins, 3 defeats. And 2 of those defeats in world title attempts. The other one when he was knocked out in 9 rounds by Fabrice Benichou in January of 1988. I think there's no doubt about it. At this stage, Jacob is worried about the effects of those cuts. He's trying to keep himself out of danger a little bit, and he's fighting more tentatively as a result of that. Earlier in the fight, he was trading and going to war with McKenzie, maybe trying to think he could get the fight over with before the cut stopped him. Quite late in the fight now. It's a championship at stake. They won't stop it for those cuts unless they positively have to, because it is too dangerous and a health risk. Doesn't look too bad for him in this 9th round. Quieter round. McKenzie not quite so dominant as he had been in round 7 and 8 so far. McKenzie from a noted fighting family. His brother Clinton was a top light welterweight, and Dudley, his other brother, was a professional light middleweight. And those cuts again, it's not a very pretty sight, is it? Looks like there might be a bit of a loose bandage around one of McKenzie's gloves in there, which won't be helping with cuts around either. The referee really ought to stop that and have that seen to. You can see it dangling away there by the right glove of McKenzie. It's better from Jacob. A couple of decent body shots from him. Now, there's not such a good look about McKenzie's work in this round. He's starting to look a bit ragged. It's a funny old fight. Just when you think one fight is starting to achieve an ascendancy, back comes the other, and this is a slightly better round. But look at that right eye, and I think now the referee wants the doctor to have a look at this. Now, is this going to be the end of the fight? The referee will have a close look. The crowd are whistling. They don't want it stopped. He is at home. The doctor's having a word with the referee. What's he going to do? He says fight on. It's not too bad. It looks pretty bad. I think if the blood was flowing into the eye, the doctor then would have advised a stoppage. Officially, the doctor can't stop the fight himself, but it would be a very brave referee who ignored a doctor's advice in view of all the arguments about boxing safety that we have these days. So, there it is. Great little fight. Drama still to come, I'm sure. Rejoin us for the closing stages in just a moment or so.
Oh, come on.
Welcome back to Calais. You heard Mickey Duff there in Duke McKenzie's corner saying you can only lose this now if you let him back into the fight.
All right, 3 rounds.
If you're just tuning in, European Bantamweight Championship, 3 rounds to go as they're reminding Duke McKenzie. Jacob with those big cuts, problems, and surviving a doctor's inspection in the last round. This is the 10th.